Happy Friday. First Friday in June. Feels like we're halfway through the year. I am excited to be here. I'm trying to make this so that we go live with Instagram. Hopefully I didn't mess it up again this time, but it looks like I have. Maybe I have the wrong. Nope. Maybe. I don't know. I think I got it right. So anyways, hello, everybody. Welcome to my favorite webinar, as we do on our Friday webinars, all about the Five Horsemen. So we're going to be talking about my arguably radically different approach to Facebook ads than other agency providers. I wouldn't say it is as radical, but I'm getting a lot of feedback that people can agree or disagree with what we're doing. But, my rules, it's working for us. So I'm going to share it with you all here. So in today's Friday webinar, we are talking about the Five Horsemen of the Ads Apocalypse, and it's my approach to how we set up ads inside of Meta. Hello, Sammy. Super glad to have you here. Bay as well. If you are joining us on a restream, super glad that you're able to participate. We know that you've signed up, but you won't be able to join the conversation. So if you're able to jump on over to YouTube or LinkedIn, we're also live on Facebook and Instagram. But let's get right into it. The Horseman concept. A lot of you who are unfamiliar with it, we're going to re-go over it. And if you are familiar with it, amazing. You followed the other ones, but we'll just do a quick highlight. I personally believe that no one should be running any ads on Meta without at least 2 different campaigns. Obviously, it should be five Horsemen of the Ads Apocalypse, but we're going to say every business needs at least 2 campaigns. I don't care if you're doing $10,000 a month, $10 million a month, or $100 a month. Well, maybe if you're at $100 a month and you're still growing and you have resources available, I think every business has at least 2 campaigns they should be running. Should they be running the 2 hero campaigns that we have in the Five Horsemen? Maybe not. If you're not able to spend at least $60 a day in the US market per campaign per ad set, then you might not be ready to do full advertising on Meta, but you should still be marketing your brand. What I mean by that is when you're marketing your brand, you're generating content that's value in advance, and you're curating an audience of future qualified customers. Google is pushing future qualified conversion. Shout out to Ben for sending me that information. But as we are building up our future buyers, because when you think of the funnel, you've got 3% that are available to purchase right now. That's not the audience that you can necessarily afford if you're brand new. But you can start building up that list of individuals in that 50 to 60% mid funnel. Maybe they're problem aware and not yet your solution aware. They're looking at your competitor, so they are solution aware, but not of you yet. It's a really good opportunity for you to invest into your Meta advertising to market your brand. Then the difference between marketing your brand and advertising your product or service is talking about the bottom of the funnel. Marketing, mid and top of funnel, advertising, bottom of the funnel. So I'm talking about book a call campaign. I'm talking about taking individuals to your product display page. I'm talking about having people download your app. Those are the bottom of funnel conversions for your brand that you're going to be advertising your specific product or service. And in the US market, if you don't have at least $60 per day per audience, you're not yet ready to do it. But you can start marketing your brand. And when we talk about the Five Horsemen strategy, essentially you have your 2 hero campaigns, your Batman and your Robin, right? So you're supporting campaigns. But if those are the only 2 campaigns you're running, guess what? You've got to lose their ad account. We have 3 horsemen because we want at least 5. These other 3 supporting campaigns, these are marketing your brand campaigns where you're putting maybe 10% of your total budget, but you're generating potentially 80% of your future customers. When you just have the 2, you're giving yourself a little clap. If you want to collect money, you're like, oh, I'm just going to get a little bit of money. Versus if you have all 5, you can grab everything with your full hand. So the Five Horsemen approach follows Meta's recommendations, which they've been pushing since at least 2018, because that's pre-Andromeda, pre-Lattice, pre-Gen, 3 major AI updates within the ads algorithm in the last, since 2023, 3 years. They have wanted you to build full funnel campaigns. TikTok, when TikTok launched into their ads that they're talking about with everyone, so much of what makes TikTok successful is how great it is as a discovery platform, and then their GMV campaigns for bottom of funnel. So let's talk about how these horsemen have done really well for our clients. When we're able to build marketing campaigns for our top of funnel initiatives, when paired with basic housekeeping, non-negotiable meta ad necessities for success on your account, we're able to see consistently a drop in cost per acquisition because we're going after engaged audiences versus constantly spending so much money on new. We're able to see a reduction in CPMs across the entire account, and we're able to increase our winning score, which is something that Meta requires in consideration when putting your ad in auction against others. So what does that mean? When you have an ad in Meta in an auction-based environment, let's see, what do I have in my desk? Okay, I've got two different things. Let's pretend these are two different ads. And you're getting your ads put up to auction. Which ad will Meta choose? Ad A or ad B? The things that are going to determine which ad to move forward with include what's your budget, what's the winning score on your ad account, what has other people been interacting with your ad account. Like all of these different factors go into it, but budget and your winning score are things that are often not talked about. We can't help it that if you don't have a strong enough budget, Meta doesn't know. Data, of course, is going to go into it. The more quality of data you can get into, even the better. And why this Horseman campaign works really well is because you're sending a lot more additional data than if you're just asking someone to buy. We know not everyone is ready to buy right now as much as we want it to. We want people to give us their 16 digits and give us their credit card right away. But the reality is not everyone is ready to start passing those out. So this 5 horsemen approach, if you think about having 5 different campaigns on your ad account, 2 bottom of funnel, at least 1 bottom of funnel, 1 consideration, and 3 top of funnel, which could be awareness or consideration, depending on your structure, allows you to build a full funnel, allows you to increase your winning score, and allows you to send quality data back to Meta of who is interacting on your account. There is such a data drought right now. I don't care if you're spending $10 million or if you're doing $10 million a year, $100 million a year, or $10,000 a month. No matter what, every account is going through a data drought with what it's feeding back into Meta. And some of the things that happen with that is when people leave Meta and go to your website, you are not piping the information correctly, either because errors are set up, you don't have a tracking installation tool in place, or you're in an environment where legislation is interfering with your ability to send the most qualified information back. Well, when you're inside of Meta's ecosystem, which some of the other 3 supporting horsemen do, allows you to send all that data because it's within Meta. It's Meta's first party data, so they can control what they see. Some of that might be video engagement. So if you're consuming long videos, like this is going to be a 45-minute to an hour-long webinar. Imagine if you're watching this on Facebook Live or on Instagram Live, and you're consuming at least 15 minutes. You are telling the Meta algorithm signals that this content is worthy of your increased consumption. I've held your attention. I've got you paying attention long enough. We are sending signals back into the algorithms that this is content that's relevant for you. Time is your greatest currency on platform. And when we think about Lattice, which came out in 2023 with Meta, it's a system where it's measuring the business objectives of Meta and determining whether or not an ad gets served. The business objectives of Meta are, it's like this constant like scale, right? You have, Meta wants you to have people stay on platform, but Meta also wants to serve you ads. If you serve too many ads, people leave platform. If you serve no ads, it makes no money. So it's this balancing act of the objectives. That's what Lattice is, and that came out in 2023. And so when we can have people have relevant content that they're being served that keeps them on platform, the more content you consume, the higher the later conversion will naturally be. Those are signals that you can send back into your ad accounts that will allow you to optimize for better leads later. So that's more or less like the reason why we have to do this 5 horsemen approach. There's no business I can justify that's not making at least $1,000 a month that should not be doing that should not have at least 1 or 2 ad campaigns in Meta. Ideally 5, but budget restraints, it depends, the 2 biggest words, and your market, of course. But every campaign should do it. And a lot of brands are going to start with the superhero campaigns, the 2 horsemen, which include conversion campaigns and consideration campaigns. I'm going to invite you to say, actually, what if we were to start with a different campaign? In previous trainings, we've talked a lot about campaign one, which for us, we call campaign one is your subscriber growth acquisition. So you have social media channels, whether you're on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, you have a profile or you have a company account that is growing followers. Most of the time, that growth is happening naturally, where you post content, it gets shared, and then maybe some people will follow. In a pay to play environment with campaign one, we are recommending that you can do it like $5 a day if you're in the US market, $2 a day if you're abroad, where you take and leverage existing content that you're already doing on your Instagram or Facebook profile or on your LinkedIn. And then, of course, you have different minimums on LinkedIn. But in the budgets for Meta, $2 or $5 minimum. If you are already creating content and investing in a social media profile, either for you, the brand creator, or for the company itself, if you have at least $200 invested in someone doing social content, publishing on the social calendar, engaging with your social media assets, or you have a graphic designer that's creating stuff that even if you're posting once a week, if you have invested any type of time and resources into a social media profile, it behooves you not to launch campaign one. So campaign one is in the 3 supporting horsemen, right? It's not easy to pick up money with these 3 fingers, right? Like I have a little bit of dexterity, but I never played piano. So I know I don't have the dexterity that other individuals have, right? But if you're using these 3 fingers to pick up money, it's not as easy, right? So these aren't money pickup campaigns. These are money grabbing campaigns when paired with our superhero campaigns. So one of our early campaigns one, that's our nomenclature, a subscriber growth campaign, which you can run on Facebook, Meta, which includes Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. If you're investing in your social media profiles there, it's one of the first things that you should do. Again, if you are listening to this and you're a creator or you're a brand and you have invested into the organic content of your social media profile, it does not make sense why you wouldn't equally invest at least $5 a day or 20 into promoting that social media profile so that you can grow followers the right way. I'm not talking about hiring some company that's going to buy from a bot farm where each individual has 200 different phones and they have fake profiles from overseas accounts. So you boost your numbers to make look, I have 10,000 followers that you bought for $200. You can do that all day, every day, but that's going to trash your long-term growth. This is part of a long-term plan. So launching a campaign one, so we'll put it here, campaign one, where you're doing like within Meta, you set up where you're growing Instagram followers. I'm going to talk about US numbers for a second, get people to follow you naturally because you have good content, qualified future customers for 15 cents or less. If you've got reels that are generating follows right now, if you have posts that are generating followers right now, absolutely you should invest in a campaign one initiative for your brand so that you can turn the gasoline fire on and get in front of more ideal customers in a pay to play initiative. We wish our organic content just got the viral reach that you hear about on TikToks. However, we are in a pay to play environment. So the best way to do that is to invest at $5 a day, $20 a day on other platforms in a way that you're pushing content that has already proven itself to acquire new followers to more audiences. Not only will this grow your profile the right way, but it's also going to increase your winning score for your other campaigns, especially your conversion campaign and consideration campaign. What I mean is everyone and their mother is spending the large majority of their budget on these 2 campaigns, your conversion sales campaign or book a call, and your consideration, your lead gen campaign. Most of the ads are on these, which means these other marketing campaigns don't have the same level of competition. If you are running only sales campaigns, you're an e-commerce brand, your CPMs are so much more expensive on your sales objective campaigns than they are on the other ones. Why? Because full funnel Meta knows that you're going after the very competitive 3% of people who are ready to buy right now audience. So when you go up to auction, remember we had these 2 examples earlier, you're going up to auction, say we're the Belgian waffle. The Belgian waffle loses, goes up again. Belgian waffle loses again. That waffle is taking a beating, and that waffle is your ad account and the ads that are in it. So just like in baseball, that runs batted in score, you have an RBI, how many home runs do you bring in when you go up to bat? It's also how many times do you win at auction? And in the most competitive campaigns, the sales campaign, your winning score is probably very, very low, especially if you're not at a minimum of $200,000 a month. That's just the numbers that Meta's given us. If you're not spending at least $200,000 a month in Meta ads, you're considered small for them. And that might be more than your current revenue is for your entire company. Just because you're spending $20 a day or $5 a day doesn't mean that you shouldn't have success on platform. It might mean that running a sales conversion campaign isn't something your brand is ready to do. But that's why I love campaign one, where you take $20 a day, depending on the platform, and invest in leveraging the content you've already invested in to get it to the masses. And when you do it, if on Meta, you do a traffic campaign that's optimized for Instagram profile visits, F the Facebook ones. We've done it. It's bought. It's unqualified traffic. You set up a traffic campaign optimized for Instagram profile visits. If you're doing it from TikTok, do it straight in-app. If you're doing it from LinkedIn, you have engagement and awareness. Like there's two different objectives you can do this. But the goal that you're trying to do is you take an existing piece of content that you've already created. And when you look in the analytics and you can see that existing piece of content has already generated followers, you take that post ID, you take that post, you take that existing piece of content, and then you leverage it to the masses. You push it in front of your ideal audience, and it could be broad. You can do, like on these type of campaigns, you can do broad. I'd recommend you at least give some suggestions on detailed targeting. Who is your ideal audience? Do you have a lookalike audience? Have you at least done your audience segments inside of your advertising settings? In our supporting horseman campaigns, these three that aren't going to grab a lot of money, but are going to help you later grab a bunch more compared to your competitors. We want to set up that campaign with suggested targeting, so detailed targeting for a traffic campaign optimized for Instagram profile visits. And then you take your leverage your existing content pieces. And then what you can do on that is you're going to optimize for people to see your ad. And then that call to action, that link button is going to be not to a landing page, not to a product display page, but to your profile. And so when someone sees a piece of content, they're like, oh, this was good. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to want to go open up your Instagram profile, and then your Instagram profile is going to tell them why they should follow more. You'll have highlights that are set up. You'll have pinned reels. You'll have a bio that makes sense, and you'll have stories. You essentially turned your social media profile into your website for content. You're creating this content. You want to get more visibility. You want to get a better ROI. This is a place to do it. So the first campaign that we recommend always is if you are investing in a social media profile and you're creating content for it and posting on a regular basis, to not put money behind it in a paid ads initiative, even if you're only doing $1,000 a month, is saying, I'm going to make all this great content, but I actually don't want people to see it. Because when you do want people to see it and you put $5 or $20 a day, depending on your budget, and you put some dollars behind it, you're telling the meta algorithms, hey, I'm building a full funnel. I'm accepting all the great signals you can send on behalf of my account that's going to help me later on my conversion and consideration campaigns. Campaign one in the United States, if you get people to watch your content, click on it to see more for 15 cents or less, you will then have the chance for people to look at the rest of your content and make a decision. Do I want to go deeper with your brand or not? All of the micro signals that we were able to send, that they watched your content, they consumed it for 3 seconds, they consumed it for at least 15 seconds, they took the action of visiting your profile. Maybe they continue to look around your profile, look at your stories, look at your highlights, look at your pinned reels, look at your past posts. Maybe even send a comment or like put a comment, put a like. All of those micro signals help Meta have a better understanding of who your ideal customer actually is. And if you're spending that same $20 a day only on driving attention to your book a call funnel or to your product display page, the reality is that $20 isn't going to give you enough data to ever really do much with the $20 a day. That $20 a day could be better spent on leveraging your existing stuff. So that's why I love campaign number one. Campaign number 2. Now, this is our naming convention. So we have like campaigns 1 through I think like 25, 26. There's 70 different options you can do. I'm just going to be talking about campaigns 1, 2, and 3, which to me are arguably the easiest ones that you can set up and do right away. And 1, 2, and 3, it goes in the easiest to a little bit harder. 1, you have content pieces on your profile that have already generated followers. You have an optimized profile bio that encourages strangers to listen more. If you already have that set up in place, easy. Traffic campaign, Instagram profile visits, and choosing existing content pieces that have proven to get followers. Easy peasy. You can almost set it and forget it. What I like doing is on a weekly or a monthly basis, looking back and seeing, are there any posts that have been on that social profile that have generated followers? Yes, add them in batch so that you can continue to see, because you want your cost per Instagram profile visit to be less than 50 cents. 50 cents has got to be your ceiling. If you're having a piece of content and it's not inspiring someone to visit your profile visit for a US visitor for less than 50 cents, that's a bad reel. Test with something else. And with advert testing, you're always testing, cycling in new content, but never cycle in a piece of content that didn't organically already win followers. If it didn't organically already win followers, it's been a proven loser. If we can't get the content piece to get people to visit your profile for less than 50 cents, okay, Meta's declared it a loser. However, you need to make sure that ad has spent at least $50 or has gotten at least 2,000 impressions. $50, 500 impressions minimum for you to know if that ad has enough data for you to see, yeah, it cost me 51 cents per Instagram profile visit, loser. Kill it, replace it with something new, try again. You can't make that decision if you have spent less than $50 on that creative. Okay, let's talk about campaign 2. Again, this is conveniently, it's going to be the 1, 2, 3 of the supporting campaigns that we're going to talk about, but it's also named campaign 2. Campaign 2 for us are engagements. I'm actually going to open up and show you where all this information is coming from. I'm going to show you our draw.io, an internal document that we use where we talk about all of the different campaigns. So I go to campaign types, sharing my screen. Where is that? Nope, wrong one. Okay. How do you know that this is an AI? Because I'm going to make mistakes just like everyone else. So this is our internal document, but you can see there's 4 different stages. We have monetization. You can count that as conversions, but awareness, consideration, and conversions. And so if you're just getting started, you can see here's what we're talking about with campaign 1. Follower acquisition campaign, where you're sending page and profile visits. We want to get people to like the page. I'll say like like the page, follow the account. And the ads that we use are going to be ones that have already proven itself. Let's talk about campaign 2 right now. Campaign 2 is an engagement campaign. Social media consists of 2 words. First word is social. Second word is media. Let me just put this here so it's cleaner and easier. Nope. I'm trying to make this for those that are watching on Instagram or in vertical that you too can read it. Okay. Zoom out a little bit. Haha, Heather in the chat was like, hey, can you fix that? Okay, there we go. So campaign 2 engagement is now we're going to take above average proven organic posts, similar to what we did in campaign 1, taking posts that have proven to generate followers. We're going to take now those posts that are proven to generate followers. Now we're going to take those posts that have proven to generate visibility and engagement. Social media. What media have you previously posted that has generated engagement? Engagement is comments, likes, shares, saves. Those are the best triggers. But what you want to look at is your last 30 days. You can see views on your reels, and you can look and see comments and likes if you're tracking comments and likes. If you can take the last 30 days, then put a median. If say your reels get an average of 6,000 views each, any reel that you post in the future that gets 6,001 views instantly becomes a valuable piece of content that you're going to put in what we call campaign 2 engagement. Because if that has proven itself organically to be an exception, it would be exceptional to be included inside of campaign 2. Campaign 1, you choose the organic posts that have proven to get followers. Campaign 2, you take the proven organic posts that have gotten an above average number of views and engagements. Now, what do you do if you have the same post that's generated followers and generated engagement? At that point, choose one. Choose the campaign that's hurting the most. The reality is I don't like building with my Five Horsemen repetitive ads. Meta's Andromeda and Gem updates have demanded creative diversification of material different ads. And what that means for us in our interpretation is we don't repeat ads. You don't have the same ad in any other ad set or in any other campaign. So if you've got creative content that's just winning, you get to choose. Do you want to put it into an engagement or do you want to put it into a follower campaign? When you're looking at what is the average median, how high is it above average for engagement or how high is it above followers? Getting followers on content is actually a lot harder than getting engagement. You can do engagement bait stuff in your content, have stronger hooks, give away something where we're having pieces in the comments. If you're using something like a ManyChat, that's going to signal a free giveaway in DMs. So if you're choosing between one, I'd recommend going after and putting it into campaign 1, our subscriber growth campaign, only because it's harder to get a follower than it is to get an engager. Having that follow button, whether it's on LinkedIn, TikTok, or Instagram, that's a stronger commitment than someone just going to comments where they're like, oh, this was amazing. Why? Because what we say publicly is what we want the world to think of us. What we say privately is what we actually think to ourselves. And we will have our comments on other people's content publicly visible. But not everyone knows when you follow a new account. I mean, if you're a BTS team member, I think there are like Discord channels that are constantly monitoring who follows and unfollows on those type of fan accounts. But for the rest of us in the world, following someone is a stronger commitment because you're saying, I want to see that more often, more often, more often. And if you have value in advanced content that you're engaging with that publicly makes me look good, that tells all of my followers, hey, look, I paid attention. This was good. And I'm making a public declaration that I'm smart and I have something funny to say about this. That's an easier ask. So when we're looking at content that's proven itself organically in an above average capacity, whether it's on TikTok, LinkedIn, or Meta, all of these work. This is a really good campaign to start with. It's campaign 2. I'm going to share the screen one more time. And then I'm going to check back to see if there's any questions. If you're joining us live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you're able to push comments and you can interrupt me and make this more interactive. But what we were talking about earlier is campaign 1 is creating a campaign to increase your follower acquisition, getting people to actually like the page, follow the content because they want to, not because you bought them or buy them like you were buying an offshore, like, oh, I just bought 2,000 likes. It cost me $50. Campaign 2, our second supporting horseman that we're talking about, is taking, again, proven organic posts, usually it's almost always reels, that you're saying, hey, Meta, social media. Hey, LinkedIn, social media. Hey, TikTok, social media. I've got media that's socializing. It's getting comments, it's getting shares, it's getting saves. So now I'm going to boost it inside of your network so that I am going to have some wins. A lot of people neglect this. When I say a lot of people, I mean most people are not running engagement bait campaigns. Who does this? Big brands that have brand budget. Who should be doing this? Small brands who don't really have a lot of advertising budget. This is something that the top brands always do and most brands neglect to do because most brands are focusing on, I need to make money right now. So I'm going to try to treat Meta like an ATM versus building a sustainable business where you may not be in a place yet to run conversion-based ads, but you're absolutely in a place to run marketing-based ads. If you can't advertise your product or service right now, it's you need to market your brand. Someone gave a really good definition of what is branding. How do you know you've been successful with your brand? Building a brand and having success means that you have built enough trust and credibility with your community that your price isn't a deciding factor anymore. If you have not built enough trust and credibility, that the price of your product or service is no longer a considering factor, then you haven't done enough to market your business, your products, or your services. Again, marketing your business and advertising your product or services are two different things. It's expensive to advertise your product or service. It's more cost effective to market your brand. And when you market your brand in Meta, you are able to compete less with the price and more with just there's a winning stuff. Like when you go up to auction on the conversion and campaigns, it's very expensive. It's very competitive. When you're doing an early campaign like campaign 2 or campaign 1 for these top of funnel initiatives, there's such little competition that it's an almost unfair advantage. When you are looking at the way that the winning score works with Meta, the more campaigns you run, especially the more full funnel building campaigns you're winning, Meta is going to look at the success of your winning percentage agnostic to the type of campaign you're running. So if you are going to win 1 in every 3 times with a follower acquisition campaign, if you're going to win 1 every other time in an engagement 2 campaign, you are going to have a higher winning percentage than if you're doing something like a sales campaign, we call campaign 10, where all you're doing is losing. You win maybe once every 1,000 times because your budget, your account history, the interactions people have with your website. This campaign 10, a sales campaign, is expensive, it's competitive, and it's hurting you for the rest of your account. Versus if you start with an earlier campaign where we're doing something like campaign 2, which is engagement, or campaign 1, which is subscriber growth, you're winning so often that when you get into those more competitive campaigns, you're coming up with spinach to Popeye's muscles. You've taken pre-workout. You have the wrath of anger and revenge, so you don't even need pre-workout. Someone just did you dirty, and you know when you go to the gym and you have that level of anger, no amount of pre-workout is going to get you more pumped up to lift harder, push harder, and do more reps. That's the same success you can have with your meta advertising if you deploy something like our 5 horsemen technique. Of course, there's no guarantees with anything. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. Disclaimer, this has worked on our accounts, and this is working for the clients we're doing this for, but by exceptions, whatever, enter those legalese things. But what I want to go over is in the 5 horsemen is introducing campaigns, especially if you're a smaller brand. Do what the big brands are doing on budgets you can manage, and stop deploying $10 million a month successful strategies in your business that's barely doing $1,000 a month. Again, arguably there is no business or brand out there that should not currently be marketing their brand on social media. These are just the cost-effective ways to do it. Let's talk about the third, like what we say campaign 3. You'll see, look at this. There's a lot of different options. We have all these different types of campaigns. All of these are different campaigns, and it's not even an exhaustive list. There are 70 different options. And what we're talking about here are some that you can do for the supporting. So I'm just going to go through campaign 1, 2, and 3 of things that you can do in an earlier launch for your brand to find success. So campaign number 3 are the videos. Oh, sorry. Break for questions on 1 and 2. Okay, sorry. Do we have questions right now for 1 and 2? So team, I know you're personally on this stream. We did a deeper dive on 1 earlier this week. My question to you, now that we're going into number 2. Oh, on LinkedIn. Okay, great. Thanks so much, Heather, for doing that. I guess my comments are showing up weird. Okay, so the question we have from LinkedIn, thanks, Megan. Oh, I don't know how I hid myself. Can you bring that question back up? It's interesting. My chat's not showing anything, so I'm glad you're doing this. Okay. We have bringing over this structured is underrated because people would rather test new creative than fix the system underneath. Oh my gosh, that's so true, Megan. Like the thing is, people will prioritize volume of creative over quality of data. And setting up this type of structure of a campaign makes it less work long-term, forever and forever. The amount of resources and mental effort that goes into creating new stuff when you're already creating this content organically on social media is insane. Like, I don't know why people choose to take the harder route and make life more difficult. So good point on that. Oh, Megan, another one. Megan K. Okay, wait, sorry. Are there 2 different Megan? No, sorry, that's John. How do I make this bigger? This is just me being annoying. Harmon saying true that Megan having wrong structure and testing just new creative is like a kid hopping from one toy to another without knowing exactly how those toys work. Oh my gosh, it's like spoiled kids. It's so true. Like if you want to jump from toy to toy as a child, or if you're a parent, you're like, I just bought you 200 toys. Why aren't you playing with them? That's what you're doing. Why are you buying kids more toys instead of improving what's already working? Jatin? Agrawal. I know that last name. Alina, shout out to you. I went to school with you for 6 years. Love your face. Same last name. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. First name. Jatin. I assume Jatin. It sounds cool. I like it. Just forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. But yeah, super right. I agree with both of you in this capacity. This is one of those things that you're leveraging. You're not creating any new creatives unless you have that into your social media already. And it's a really easy place. Structuring these campaigns. These are $5 a day campaigns if you're on Meta. They could be $5 a day campaigns if you're on TikTok, or it could be $20 a day campaign if you're on LinkedIn, especially if you're going after the B2B audience. This is how you can grow your account the way the tech companies are begging you to do it. And when you do this, your consideration campaigns have so much more brute force when they enter the auction compared to your competitors that aren't doing this. That if budget is not your best friend, you don't have the budgets that Temu and Disney and Coca-Cola have, you have the capacity to outrank those on your same economics level, the same advertising budgets level as you, by doing this more efficient and smarter. Okay, Heather, I'm going to presume that those are all the other chat questions. Oh, no, one more. Okay, traffic campaign, jumping into this. Can you send it to a blog post? Oh, yes. Okay, I'm glad you wrote this. Great question. We actually have a different campaign we recommend for blog campaigns. So we do that as a traffic campaign. We call that campaign number 5. Let me share my screen. Really good one. Where's my share screen? Presentation. Will it do the same thing? Nope. I already have it here. Okay. We have this campaign 5 is traffic. So what I like about okay, Heather, help out. I was like, I don't know how I'm doing this wrong. For our campaign 5 for traffic, what I really like about this is if you've got blogs, just like you're saying, oh, yes, Heather, for the win. This is what backup support's all about. I love, if you have blogs, such a good point. You're generating blogs, especially if they're getting traffic organically, showing up in Google Search Console. I love these as one of the supporting horsemen. You have a blog, creating an ad that gets someone to want to, like you inspire a question in the ad and you get them to go to your page. The longer that they're on the page, all of those data, that came a huge update from Google recently with their last update like 2 weeks ago. They want people to consume content. If you've got blogs and you're willing to go like super high level of data, I'm going to nerd out for a really hot second. Within the standard events in Meta's ecosystem, you have 17 standard events that you can employ on every page. Now, I'm going to put this standard events. It's developers.facebook.com. Heather, I'm going to put this here in our internal chat. Will you put that as a QR code so that anyone that wants to get to this, I'm in this page on a daily basis. Let me zoom out so we can see it better. So on this page, there's 17 standard events. If you've got a blog that you know is important, you can use this view content standard event so that you tell Meta, you tell all the ecosystems, hey, this page is important to me. Look at this. A visit to a web page you care about, a product page or a landing page. This could be about us. This could be a high quality page that helps Meta understand that someone visiting this page compared to visiting a privacy policy page is more important. They're viewing that content. So adding this standard event, it's just an extra like 2-3 lines of code. You have one line where you have the standard event and then an open and a close parameter of it. Heather's got the QR code to get to this page. Thank you so much. This is huge. But if you want to take it to the next level, especially for advanced, or you hire someone like on an Upwork or a Fiverr that's going to help you get to the, let me just do this advanced. Where is it? /advanced or advanced standard events. Oh man. I have to find that page. Forgive me. It's worth it because you can then actually start tracking people of how many blogs that they've visited on your website. Let me see if this is what it is. Heather, I'm going to defer to you because I think I've sent you that page a lot. It's like, it's the same URL. It's time on page one, right? Exactly, Heather. You're slotting me into it. It's like the same URL, but /advanced, or you add advanced to it. It's something like that. So if you can find that page, I'll switch to it. But either way, let me go back to this. For blogs, even if you don't do that level of advanced pieces for blogs, the best thing to do for a traffic 5 campaign, I actually like recommending $10 a day on this. Again, depending on the base pixel, these other campaigns don't actually require any pixel whatsoever because all the data is within the Meta ecosystem. But if you have the advanced pixel on the page, sorry, making this good for mobile, then you're able to send people the way that they're doing. Meta's already tracking all that information, but the best ads are if you do clickbaity. So think about it. If your blog is answering a question, that a lot of your consumers have, or your ideal customers have, make it as clickbaity as possible. You think about like, which Disney princess are you? If you want to send me put in the chat what your business is, I'll give you verbatim examples that I would run and help come up with things together. But what question does your blog answer? Use that as the ad. People are looking for answers and you're interrupting their feed. And if you have the answer, oh my gosh, you're being proactive. And Gem, the latest update within the Meta ecosystem, what Gem does is it chooses which ad is best for that person in a predictive future behavior. So Gem knows more about you as an individual. And the best example is if you bought a motorcycle, Gem already knows that about you. So you're likely then going to see motorcycle insurance ads, pink helmet ads, pink glove ads, fancy pink Alpine Stars boots ads. It already knows from behavior that it has of what you're interacting with, what is the next product you're likely to purchase. And when you have the blogs, because we're consumers, that we're not acting in a linear fashion, we aren't ducks in a row. Blogs are such a good asset to leverage when you're answering questions your consumer has. So I'm going to share the screen really quickly. Here's that advanced one. And then Heather, if you can switch it for the QR code too, just as like you send this to the developers, I'm just going to Control F blog because I'm going to find it here. Triggering events based on visibility. For this example, suppose you have a blog and want to track users who read the entire content of an article. There's no action from the user other than scrolling to the end of the page. Here's what you can add as extra. So this is more than 3 lines. You also have the ability, let me go to one more, where you can count. Oh, maybe they pulled the example out. But you can set it up where you can count how many blogs people have visited. So blogs, we put that in traffic. So that's campaign number 5, is such a good use of your marketing dollars on Meta to get people to buy into your brand. I will trust you if you give me answers I don't have. Let's see what else I have on my desk. I don't remember the name of this brand. Delta Hub. Okay, so say you're a tech girly. You're a work from home individual. You're all about that remote life. And you know you're getting pains in your wrist. If you massage yourself right here and it hurts, you're like, what can I do for a more ergonomic desk? Say you just bought this MX Master 4, right, from Logitech. This is like a $150 mouse. And you're like, okay, I'm using an ergonomic mouse because like, look at this thing. It stands up taller than it lies. But then you're like, it's still not good enough. Because I bought and invested into a mouse, Delta Hub, which is a wrist guard, is a good solution. But to say Delta Hub, I don't know about them. They're a very small brand, super small. But they have a blog that says, hey, ergonomic desk hacks for tech girlies. Oh, hold on. I want to know more about that. And it sends me to a blog that talks about other ergonomic hacks. Of course, one of them is their Delta Hub, like wrist guards. You just give yourself better support. Like you have your lumbar support on your chairs and your desk goes up, but you don't have anything for the wrist. So that small movement can make a huge difference. And then all of these tiny little hacks, if there's a blog that is selling me on this, because your blogs are like product display pages, but they're persuasion display pages. Instead of spending $40, $90, $200 a CPM For a traffic campaign, you could be spending $4. Why would you want to spend 20 times more of going after your customer that you're most competitive with to sell a low cost product? I think it's like $24. When you can spend 1/20th of that and start building your audience and start marketing your brand. That was a really, really good question. I appreciate you bringing that back up. And so we jumped a little bit to number 5. I actually didn't even plan on showing number 5. So thank you for having that specific question. If you have other assets that you're trying to reach into, please let me know. But on Meta, set up as a traffic campaign, and then you want to make sure that you're optimizing for landing page views. And if you end up using that advanced QR code that you can see up there, which you can pull in a second, Heather. If you end up using that, then you can do even more custom conversions. You can say, I want someone to watch at least 2 more blogs because you'll have blog suggestions, or you want people to read down to the bottom. So you can actually optimize for what you want. That's the level of cool data quality stuff. To Tina and Megan, we're talking about earlier, like people are making just more and more volumes of creative. We don't need to do that. Let's leverage what we already have. And let's focus instead on the data quality over the creative quantity. Okay, I'm going to jump to campaign 3 because this is one of the ones. There's this woman called Laurel Poitier. She, one of our clients, is following some of her stuff. She has something similar where she calls it power content. I've always said 10 core videos. If you have a brand and you have, how do you spell her name? Oh, Laurel Poitier. I have it here. Portie, accent aigu. There's no R. Hold on. E2. Wrong way. Sorry. E2. Okay. I don't know her. So apologies. I can't speak to it, but a client of ours is following her system and it sounds like there's some alignment. So in this campaign 3 video views campaign, again, if you are not able to spend $60 a day on a conversion-based campaign and you've got a company that's doing at least $1,000 a month, this is a really good $5 a day, $10 a day initiative that you can do in your structure campaign. I isolate each of these as a different campaign because they have a different objective. And Meta wants you to do 5. They've been talking about the Power 5 since 2018. So setting up a campaign 3 video views, it's a way that you're going to optimize for through plays. Through plays in Meta means 15 seconds. Let's talk really quickly about the 4 numbers that matter. You always design your video for second 0, because if I can't decide within a split second if this is worth it for me, the algorithms also can't read the text, the SEO on the copy, and then display image right away. So you always design for second 0, which means a good thumbnail. Then you want to make sure that you have a hook in the first 3 seconds. If you can't hook at least 20% of your audience, it's never going to be a good ad. If I don't get your attention for 3 seconds, why do you think I'm going to get your attention for 15? I can't sell you anything from less than 3 seconds. I can't sell you anything for less than 6 to 15 seconds. So the numbers is 0, design for second 0. 3, make sure the first 3 seconds you have a strong hook. Then in TikTok's world, the first 6 seconds, you have to make sure those first 6 seconds are good. You can have a really strong hook and then just fall flat. That's not what we want. So when you're creating content, you're creating core videos, or Laurel Poitier calls them power content videos. These are videos that you wish your ideal customer saw before they ever actually got on the phone with you. What are things like, why did you create your brand? Us versus them content. It's what's your unique selling points? What's your brand origin story? What is your strong opinion? What are some of these core videos that make sure you and your brand stand out compared to your competitors? Those can be challenging to film. I get that. Using your phone, low production is super okay. And there's a lot of formulaic ones out there, but your 10 core brand videos, Laurel Poitier calls them dog whistle videos. Your goal of these videos are not to go viral. The goal of these videos is when you blow a whistle, you're attracting only dogs. I don't want mosquitoes coming by. I want to be surrounded by a bajillion cute puppies, right? Bring me all the puppies. So I'm going to have a dog whistle. Your core brand videos is that dog whistle effect. What are you telling your ideal audience? What are you telling your potential customers that they need to know? One thing for Mongoose Media, for example, what you need to know is if your agency or your media buyer, whoever's managing your ads, hasn't spent at least 15 seconds to set up the advertising settings, I know for a fact they are not keeping up with modern advertising. Something that's been around for like almost a year now. And if what I'm telling you now sounds new to you, that's great, because then you're going to be like, what? How do I know? This is a 15-second thing that you can go in and check on your ad account right now. If you go to advertising settings, it's inside of business tools. It literally takes 15 seconds. If you look at your engaged audience and you look at your existing customers and it says not defined, I guarantee you that the people that are managing your ads are doing it as if it's 2024, 2025 even. They are not up to date with modern best practices. And the data you're missing out on, which it takes you 2 seconds to check, it takes you 15 seconds to fix. If the people that are managing your ads aren't willing to spend 15 seconds to have the most qualified, optimized information for Andromeda, Gem, and Lattice to work with each other, I guarantee you, if they're not willing to spend 15 seconds to fix this, why do you think they're going to spend your $15,000 a month appropriately? So that's a type of core brand video that I want to explain, that the data quality is so important in your advertising. Stop focusing on like, oh, is my ad good? Let's make sure what defines good in an ad and what data is coming back into it, so that you're telling Meta and the other algorithms that you want to optimize for more quality. And a lot of that data putting back into it gets challenging when you leave platform. So these first 4 campaigns, video views 3, and then reach is number 4, which we call supporting campaigns. These aren't dependent on data outside of Meta to tell Meta how to better optimize for this campaign. So what I love about the campaign 3 video views, we've got 10 core brand videos. You cycle them in, and then you're just introducing to your future customers what it's like working with you, why you're different from your competition, what need in the marketplace existed that hadn't been solved until you came in. You're just building your own personal hero story. The best way I can describe the importance of 10 core brand videos is, let's talk about Batman. Batman is a muscular guy with $1 billion wearing a mask and a cape who is potentially coming into your house in the middle of the night. If you don't know anything about Batman, that is a scary situation for you to be in. I don't care if you're a woman, I don't care if you're a man. Like, that is terrifying. If you don't know who Batman is, and then a masked billionaire with more muscles than I have breaks into my house, I am terrified. However, if you have these core brand videos, the power content, stuff that's saying Batman invests his $1 billion to protect Gotham. Batman is a superhero at night whose only interest is protecting you and your family. I now think if this, masked billionaire with a cape and huge muscles and weapons out the wazoo breaks into my house, my assumption is something is wrong and he's here to protect me. How can you protect your future customers, and how can you signal to them that something is wrong with whatever service or product they're currently using to fix something or not using? So campaign 3 is one of those early campaigns that you can use. Heather, I don't know if there are any more questions that have been popping in from the other channels. I'm sorry that my chat's not working. I wish I could say hi to the team that's usually super active in the chat. I appreciate you. I hope you guys are interacting with each other. Heather's saying there's none right now. We've got about 5 minutes left in. I do want to power through campaign 4. If you're liking this content, we do this every Friday, but specifically the one on ad structure set up on Meta is once a month. So if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll see a playlist and you can see past ones. Each time we do this, it's different. It's still going over the same concepts. It's just, I could talk for 15 hours and still not even remotely finish talking about what we do with how we set up our ads. I'm just getting back in to share my screen. We've talked a lot about campaign 1 in the past. We've definitely gone deeper into campaign 9, which arguably to me is the most important campaign within the Mongoose Media ecosystem. There are so many different ones that are happening here. I'm just sharing my screen in case you end up pausing or want a screenshot. If you have more questions, you're always definitely welcome to hit us up on socials. LinkedIn, Lauren E. Petrullo is my most active one. Or of course, Self-Pitch, join us at Marketing Rehab. We do a call every week. It's an hour. It's personalized and it's fun. but that's a gated community. And I give you access to these docs. Otherwise, you have to recreate them yourself and follow along and play the videos, which very happy to have you here anyways. So I'm just going to jump with the last few minutes about campaign 4, because I know this is the most polarizing campaign I ever talk about. If you have ever heard anyone using reach campaigns in their meta ads, all they ever think is this is garbage. What a waste of money. Reach is just nonsense. But if it was nonsense, why would Meta keep it? I mean, we can say like, oh, because they just want to keep your money. That's not true. Like, there's no one else more invested in the success of your business than the people behind Meta advertising. Why? Because if you're like, oh, I lost $2,000 or I spent $5,000 in Meta and it was garbage, Meta counts that as much of a failure as you do. Meta doesn't want your $2,000 or $5,000. They want you to be spending $20,000 to $200,000 a month. Meta advertising is set up to be a revenue share partner with you. When you win, Meta will win because you're going to reinvest more into your Meta advertising. Meta literally wants you to treat them like an ATM, but you keep abusing them like a one-night stand. Meta's like, let's get married. Let's court each other. Let's find your customers. Let's access their 401ks, and they invest into your business all day long. Because when they invest into your business, you invest back into Meta's. So when you're like, oh, Meta hates me, I can't do Meta ads well, I guarantee you, you have sacrificed data quality in favor of data quantity. And if you end up doing the thing where you're creating ads, more and more ads that look the same, you're actually electing to pay more. We talk about that a lot more help. So gotta help Meta help you. Yes, Irish, 1,000%. Meta will help those who help themselves. And the best way you can help yourself is ensuring that you have data quality. And if you're doing the stupid thing of making all your ads look the exact same, well, we'll talk more about that on the creative diversification one, which I think is next week. But you don't want to do that because Meta will punish you. So really quickly on Reach, because we got 3 minutes left. I love the Reach campaign. And this is the one you can spend $2 to $5 with. This is like the digital of ads. What you want to do is don't tell everyone. Like, you don't want to be like, hey, everyone, look at me. I am the best. That's what all your marketing is doing, right? Reach, it goes out to everyone in the masses. You know when reach works really well? When you reach people with something that's good to know. You know what's good to know? When someone else is like, oh my gosh, Lauren is the best. If you have reviews and testimonials, things that other people have said, you get to build brand credibility from other people's videos. That's some of the best use cases for reach. And then you just get to populate that into the masses of who is your targeted audience. So reach campaign, very controversial because everyone and their mother hates it. Meanwhile, I'm like, when we have implemented reach, we have seen cost per book calls drop from $300 to $150. This works on big ad spend accounts. This works on small ad spend accounts. Why? Because you almost win every single time. And then you get your winning score increased. And then your lower bottom of funnel conversion campaigns work better. I can't make any guarantees. I can't tell you what to do or not. I'm not your mother. But those 5 campaigns that we went over are some examples of 3 of the supporting horsemen you can do. So when you're running your conversion and consideration campaigns, having 3 additional campaigns like 1, follower growth, 2, engagement, 3, videos, 4, reach, or 5, traffic, especially to blogs. Those let you do a full grab of the money. And I want you all to be incredibly successful. So I hope today's structure review of the Meta ads worked well for you. If you like this type of content, please let us know, engage in the comments, and definitely show up next week. We do this every week, Friday at 3 p.m., considering potentially changing that time to be a little bit earlier. So let us know what your thoughts are. Thanks again, everyone, for joining on this stream.